This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's episode 964, and it's the Relevant Podcast here in Orlando. I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me, oh my goodness, this is so weird. I can't say it. He's not with us today. Joining me from Nashville, Tennessee, sitting in for Jesse, is our senior editor, Tyler Huckabee.
Hello, hello.
From Austin, Texas, author, speaker, podcaster, Jamie Ivey.
Hi, guys.
And from Nashville, Tennessee, artist, producer, mogul, Derek Miner.
What's happening?
Tyler, man, no pressure, but you got some big shoes to fill with Jesse being out sick today.
That's what you said, Cameron. You called me and asked if I could join, if I could be part of the pod, which of course I was more than happy to do. But then you said, drink lots of coffee. You have to be really funny. And I've drunk lots of coffee. I got the first part down. I don't think there's a tie. Yeah. There's maybe coffee can make you a little bit funnier. It can't make you Jesse Carey. I'm not even going to try. I did the hello thing. That's going to be the extent of my impersonation. It feels mean to his legacy for me to even try to do a Jesse Carey impersonation. I'm talking about him like he's dead, which I don't think he is. I think he's fine.
No, he's not dead.
He's not dead.
He's not dead. I will tell the listener this. Jesse's been sick this week. He's just been sick, and so we've moved things around. He called me this morning. You know, he was going to be better today, and he called me, and he's going to power through. And he was like, "Hey, all right, I just want to give you a heads up. You know, I'm still kind of struggling, but we're going to do this." And I'm telling you, he sounded out of his mind.
Jesse's not dead, but he's barely alive. He's living on the inside. Living on the inside, sucking down NyQuil.
Take the day.
Oh no!
No, I just said thank you for the effort, thank you for the attempt, but we'll let you set this one out.
That is so Jesse too.
Prayers for
Jesse's
sick
the
Jesse.
kind of guy like Jesse could be like Shark got his arm. Like was crawling on his way to the hospital. He got mugged. Black eye. Somebody knocked him out. Took the wallet, and then I give him a call. I'm like, "Hey, do you mind editing something really fast?" I'm like, "Sure, man. It'll be just a minute. I'm losing blood. I do not have an arm.
I have one arm."
But he would do that. Like he would absolutely pull that.
He would.
Like Jesse, shirt off his back doesn't begin to cover it. Like spine out of his body if you needed one.
Aww.
Jesse puts the needs of the people he cares about above himself in every part of his life, to the point that the people who care about him have to protect him from that very
himself.
generous tendency. Yeah. Which is why I'm like, go lay down. We're not putting a mic in front of you today. Thank you though, but go lay down.
Jesse doesn't call in sick.
Everybody needs friends like that though. Who'll like protect you from yourself, so
Jesse doesn't call in sick. We call in sick for Jesse. We are the ones who have to call.
Oh, that's 100% true.
It's a great quality. It really is.
There's a reason why in 15 years he's missed. This is the second podcast he's ever missed. I mean, it's like he shows up, and good for him. But sometimes
Jesse.
you just got to take a break. Get well.
He's missing
healthy.
a great episode.
All right,
like he's gonna we're gonna have a lot of fun without him.
He's gonna be like that meme of like it's the ad that of the people being happy eating ice cream, and there's like a kid sitting next to the ad, like looking at it, eating his ice cream, acting like he's hanging out with his friends.
Damn.
That's what Jesse listening to this episode, just missing out.
Number one fan.
Well, we do have a great show in store for you. Coming up later, one of our favorite hip hop artists, 1K Phew, joins us. He's one of the artists that we actually spotlight in the current issue of Relevant, along with some other up and coming names that we love that we're excited about, like No Big Deal, Wande. So anyway, 1K Phew is coming up later. Also, Downtown Emily Brown will join us for a Relevant Buzz, and we have your feedback at the end of the show. Now, before we get rolling, though, Derek, I follow you on social media. It's how I keep in touch with your life. And I don't know. A lot of our interaction is on Twitter.
Right,
I'll be sending you DMs or whatever. What do you think about all this Twitter news going on with Elon Musk taking over?
It's the end.
It's $44 billion.
It's the end. We're getting free speech back. That's what I feel like.
You really?
We are getting free.
Hold on. You really think he's going to go like Truth Social direction with it? Like he's going to do what Trump was trying to do?
So.
Honestly, what do you think?
This is what I think. I just think he's going to give us an edit button. Like, and I think we're going to be okay. Like, I mean, in the end of the day, like the thing with Twitter, if he runs Twitter like he runs Tesla, I think we might be cool. Because the thing I love about Cameron, your Tesla, is just like, he's okay with saying, okay, let's try something. And then, no, that didn't work. Let's do something different. Like, I like that it's constant improving. Like, you know, if everyone says, hey, we don't like this feature that you guys added, he'll say, all right, whatever, we'll just go back to the old feature. And so I think that's pretty cool. I mean, I think there's a lot of potential. I mean, the guy's pretty innovative. I'm not really pressed on it. I think people somehow made this into a political, and then some people made it into a woke versus unwoke thing. I'm like, it's just a billionaire buying a $1 billion company from another billionaire, guys. You got to relax.
Here's my take on, like, why would he buy it? So angel investors, people who buy tech companies, it's all about valuation potential, growth, get 10x return on your investment.
Yeah.
Twitter is a mature tech company. Like, it is what it is. It has exploited every revenue stream it can, adding ads and different things. Maybe they'll add a little subscriber service, but it is what it is. And there's no 10x return on a $44 billion investment. So why would he do it? It's just a personal thing. And so all of a sudden I'm going, okay, if his only agenda here is personal interest, tinkering with it, not about making money, I'm actually wondering, what does he want to do? You know what I mean? Like, he's got something in his mind beyond an edit button that he's wanting to do with what he just bought, or else he wouldn't have paid $44 billion for it. If he paid $4 billion, yeah, just whatever. But the 44 is a major focus of his now.
That's an expensive edit button for sure.
That's what I think.
That's what I'm saying. A $44 billion edit button.
Is he the kind of guy that just wants to flex? Like, I own Twitter now. I mean, is that like a big deal?
Not for $44 billion.
But if you have enough money that you can throw around $44 billion, to me, it feels like those are the people who are like, I'm just going to flex and I have an extra $44 billion sitting around.
Man,
I don't care about it.
I'm trying to get $44 to eat at Chick-fil-A with this inflation.
Exactly.
This man spent $44 billion.
I was taking my kid to school this morning and we were running a little late, so I didn't make him breakfast. So like we're going to swing through the McDonald's drive-thru for McDonald's breakfast for my kid on his way to school. $12.
Yes, sir.
For a McDonald's breakfast.
Sir. Yes, sir.
What?
It's crazy.
I was shocked.
It's crazy out here right now.
That's the one perk of McDonald's, is the food can be bad. It can take too long. The wait can be like, the cars can be wrapped around the restaurant. But the one perk that you always know, well, I'm getting out pretty cheap. It cost me nothing to do all this. At the end of the day, it didn't hurt the bank account. If they lose that, then I'm really out of reasons to go into McDonald's, because McDonald's, by almost any measure, I think, is the bottom of the fast food chain. Like, you can find fast food that does a better version of McDonald's.
Well, there's like Hardee's and Carl's Jr. and stuff.
I think the last time I ate at McDonald's was 15 years ago. I do not eat McDonald's.
Wow. I don't either.
Mickey D's, I didn't say none of this. I'm trying to get this sponsorship. I didn't say none of this. I love me a good Big Mac. You know what I'm saying? I love, you know what I'm saying? Sponsor me.
I mean, I love a Big Mac too, but 44-year-olds can't be eating Big Macs all the time.
Nah, that mug at 40, that'll take you 44 days to get it out your system.
I have vegan friends that late night 2 a.m. will find themselves pulling into a McDonald's drive-thru. It's just like, I don't know.
Are you serious?
Maybe they think, yeah. Well,
what are they getting? Fries?
No. It's one of those things that they'll that's what they'll break.
Their little
it's like
cheat.
it's like that's their cheat. But maybe they're saying this isn't real meat. Maybe they're saying maybe it's a vegan
That's
thing. I don't
the
know.
ultimate vegan cheat. That'd be like if I'm like, I don't drink. I'm a total teetotaler. Only every now and then I will shoot an entire bottle of vodka into my eyeballs. Like, it's such a crazy cheat for a vegan.
If I'm doing it, I'm going all
the way.
Yeah.
We were vegetarians years ago, and so like when my kids were little, we were vegetarians. But you guys, this is the worst. But I would still eat Chick-fil-A. So I was a vegetarian that would eat Chick-fil-A, but I would go eat it when my kids were at school, and I was like that weirdo eating it in the parking lot real quick and then ditching the bags like in the Walmart parking lot so my kids wouldn't know.
Yeah.
That was my cheat, was because it was like Christian chicken. This can't be bad for me. I'm just going to eat the chicken, but I wouldn't tell my kids.
God forgive me on this one. It's
That's
Chick-fil-A,
right.
God.
They at school suffering with carrot sticks and celery sticks, and you out here with a Chick-fil-A.
Yep.
There's not a whole lot of.
funny.
It's a really dark feeling eating fast food in the parking lot. We've all done it. We've all
Quickly,
been there.
and then getting rid of the bag so no one knows. That makes you feel real bad.
I've thrown candy
Hey,
wrappers.
Jamie, somebody see you in line. Hey, Jamie, what are you doing here?
The salads, Chick-fil-A salads.
So back to Twitter.
Yeah.
Oh,
What do you think is going to happen other than the edit button? Because like already just on the news, like you said, woke versus conservative, like it's becoming a culture war. Like numbers are plummeting. There's like a mass exodus of users right now. And I'm just wondering if it's like a temporary blip or, I mean, what happens if he spends $44 billion on this thing and everybody leaves? I don't know where they're going to go,
Truth
but
Social, baby.
it's crazy.
One thing about it, this is what I hope happens. I don't know if this will happen. I won't even guess if this will happen, because once you get to the billionaire status, you playing on a level that us peons don't really know. You seeing some stuff that we ain't really seeing. But I wonder if he's gonna make the algorithm a little bit, because I think that's why social media has stalled out. I mean, all of the algorithms are so pay for play that it's killed the user experience. So I'm wondering if he might make the algorithm less restrictive in that way and maybe bank on trying to create a better user experience, which will in turn create more revenue. That's what I'm hoping. I don't know. That's the only play I could see financially that would make 44 billion make sense, besides some Illuminati trying to control your mind and trying to bring Donald Trump back on to so he could become president in 2024. I saw that on YouTube, so take it with a grain of salt. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's something I
Have
don't
you
know.
noticed that the Instagram algorithm has changed? Is your feed different than it used to be? Mine
Man,
is.
I don't even check
Useless.
Instagram anymore because my
Useless.
feed's been so bad. Because the algorithm, I can only see like 3 people.
It's all people they're suggesting for you. Like, I don't even know these
Suggesting.
people. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
right.
it.
Like 2/3 of my feed is like, hey, you interacted with this video, so here's other accounts. I'm going,
Yeah,
I hate it.
no point scrolling.
okay.
You know, you can go in and say, don't show me things suggested to this. It's a pain because it takes forever. But I've been doing that every time I see one because I'm just like, I'm tired of it too. I just want to see the people I follow.
Yeah, I literally can't see any of the people I follow except maybe 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
And then, it's just suggestion after suggestion after suggestion, which it feels like honestly, Facebook and Instagram, whatever they're doing over there at Meta, it kind of feels like we're going the way of MySpace. Because I remember MySpace, dating myself, but how bad the experience on MySpace was with just ad after ad after ad after ad after ad after ad. And I think that's, if Zuckerberg would just fix that, you'd have more people in Instagram. Let's think about people have already built all these platforms. Nobody wants to just go to TikTok and build something else. Why are people going to TikTok? It's because when I post stuff, people see it. The people I follow, I actually get to see their content. Not, I'm following, my friends, and then I get toothpaste ads every
Not even that many friends.
3
I get like the
posts.
same 3
Yeah.
Instagram posts.
I just wonder
when I
how
log in.
Twitter's going
Like,
to change.
I saw this 3 days ago, and you're showing it to me again,
Yeah.
and then 15 ads for something that I do not want and don't plan on buying, and then another post that I've already seen. It's a weird experience.
Now, someone said that this could be the Elon Musk thing could be the next Cambridge Analytica.
Oh yeah.
For though I don't know if people have heard about that, but just maybe he just wanted everybody's data from Twitter. That's pretty priceless. If he was to own the company, know everybody's buying patterns and data and all those different things, it's pretty crazy. That might
because
be
the
worth
thing about
44
taking
billion.
it private is he has zero accountability. He can do anything he wants with no oversight. There's no regulations. There's no anything. Like it's no different than me owning Relevant. Y'all don't know what we make.
Trillions.
Y'all don't know how I run it. You don't know that I don't answer to anybody. I own it. He owns it. He doesn't answer to a board. He doesn't answer to anybody. Like, so what you're talking about data mining and stuff like that, maybe that is worth $44 billion to him because he's going to use it in other ways. Ooh, I just got into conspiracy world. Ooh.
I'm telling you, stay off of YouTube. Do not type YouTube, Elon Musk, and Twitter. You are going to go into rabbit holes.
You're gonna be up all night.
And you do not want to.
That's probably why Jesse's not here. He's been up all night watching YouTube videos.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Well, moving the show along, before I toss to Relevant Buzz, two things I want to mention real quick at the beginning of the show here. Number one, if you are, creative, good, do audio, do design, social media, and want to work with us here on the Relevant team, we are hiring. Go check out relevantmediagroup.com. It has all the openings. We are looking for podcast editors, graphic designers, social media creators, content creators, and more. Go check it out. We'd love to have you, especially if you're listening to this show. You could help make the show, help the show keep evolving. Be part of it. Go check it out, relevantmediagroup.com. Also, if you've been listening, you know, Relevant Plus. If you want an ad-free version of this show released early, it's part of Relevant Plus. We also have an exclusive podcast, the Relevant Plus Conversations, which are full unedited conversations, enhanced digital magazine, ad-free reading at relevantmagazine.com, and more. Go check out all the options. The plans start at just $250 a month. You can find out more at relevantmagazine.com. All right, stay tuned. Up next, Emily joins us for Relevant Buzz.
Sweet dream with a tender heart and a beautiful smile.
You're listening to the Black Keys. Song is Wild Child. Man, glad they're back. Love the Black Keys. Well, today's show is brought to you by the Lumo Project. Lumo is a stunning visual Bible project that'll help you see the gospel in a compelling new light. If you've ever wondered if the gospel has talked about the big questions we face in life today, like addiction, money, depression, doubt, yeah, they're all in there. With Lumo, you can experience Jesus' teachings and story in a completely new way. Go watch their free scripture videos by searching the Lumo Project at YouTube. And for other free resources, including small group studies and more, check out lumoproject.com. That's L-U-M-O project.com. Also, Lumo presents our Deeper Walk daily devotional, so you should check that out at relevantmagazine.com. Really good stuff. Okay, it's time for
Relevant Buzz.
Please welcome to the show our very own Emily Brown, telling us what's happening at the intersection of faith and culture this week. Hey, Emily.
Hey, y'all.
What's the buzz?
There's a lot going on. So I want to start off with something that, honestly, it's actually not
Emily, real quick, how's your Instagram feed? Is it enjoyable? Have you noticed a difference?
I'll be honest, as I was waiting to come on this, I was scrolling through Instagram. I got so annoyed. Why are there so many videos?
See?
I'm so tired of Reels.
Well, because they're favoring that now. I mean, obviously, they're upfront with that. It's all about Reels.
I have TikTok for videos. I have Instagram for photos. They literally
said in a earnings call that they are no longer a photo sharing application. They have repositioned themselves internally as a video application. Yep. So,
well, fix the algorithm so when I post videos, people see it.
Yeah. We need a new Instagram because I'm not good at videos. I'm not great at pictures either, but I'm better at pictures than I am videos.
Can I, I know we got a lot to get to, Emily. I know this is important, but can I ask a quick question of the marrieds here? Married question. If you're scrolling like late at night and you know, your spouse is asleep in the bed next to you and you're just scrolling, you're doing a little purge at the end of the day and you come across a video that you want to watch, but you don't have headphones. So if you press play, you're going to wait, you're going to wake them up. What's your move? What's the move? You're scrolling, it's late, they're asleep, you find a video and it's like, it's an intriguing screen grab. You want to know what's going on there, but you know, if you hit play, it's going to do, what's the move?
This is what I do. I start with the volume all the way down and push play and then slowly go up, up, up until I see a little like movement. And then I stop right there. And I'm like, that is as high as I can go. And then you just got to get real close and listen in.
That's like hiding Chick-fil-A from your kids. That's good.
You're sneaky. You're so deceitful.
You're sneaky.
Oh, I'm really not. I mean, I just got to
like
get
Black
what I
Widow
need.
over here.
She's got a strategy. If it works, it works.
She has that's the thing. She has a strategy. That's the thing. She has thought this through. Yeah. She knows what she's going to do. That's the thing.
I thought you were going to have to think about it, but you had a system in place. I love it. I'm going to try it.
But how about just toss your AirPods in? Like, I mean,
they're not close. You're in bed. They're downstairs.
But then you're committing. You're committing to I'm staying up to do this, as opposed to that I'm trying to go to sleep. I'm just
right.
You put AirPods in, you're up for the night.
Yeah,
up for the night. I don't know about that, but I mean, like, you're not wanting to stay up. You're not wanting to admit that you're, doing this on purpose.
I guess I'm different because I just would put my AirPods in.
But how many of us just watch one video and walk away?
I just put my AirPods in and watch the video, and then when the video's over, I just take them out.
Oh, that's good, Derek. You have self-control. All of us would go to the next video.
Self-control.
Yeah.
That's what we're learning here.
Yeah, I'm counting sheep when I'm scrolling in bed. Like I'm just trying to fall. I'm drifting off. So I don't have. If I have AirPods in, I'm prepped for it's gonna be an actual rabbit hole that I'm deliberately going down, and that's not. Then I'm up till midnight, 1 a.m. We can't have that.
I was gonna say I've been limiting my social media to an hour a day and 15 minutes on the weekends, and it's been amazing.
You get the little notification on your phone that says
with the app. Yeah. So I'll put an hour of all social media on there. And sometimes I'll break it and be like, man, let me see what's going on. Very, very, maybe once or twice, but for the most part, I've been averaging like an hour, 15 minutes a day. And that has been good. Because it shocked me. I did not realize how much time I was spending on social media. At one point in time, I looked up, I was spending 2 hours on Twitter. And I was like, nah, bro, there's no way I could be spending 2 hours on a social media. She said, that's it.
I know. 2 hours.
Derek, I have the same thing on my phone.
22 hours of doing other stuff.
The rookie numbers.
I have the same thing on my phone, but every day I hit where you can hit it to turn it off. Every single day I hit. Yeah, I'm like, nah. So on the weekends, I actually take Instagram off my phone. Like I literally delete the app. That's the only way I can do it.
That's dope.
Smart.
Wow.
Smart.
All right, Emily, what do we got this week?
Now I feel like I need to go look at my hours, but I'll do that later. Okay, I want to start with a new study that came out from Harvard. This is not shocking to me, so I'm curious if this is surprising to you. A new poll says that young voters really don't care about either political party. Like they're not leaning towards one way or the other. Which statistically, there's always been this idea that young voters typically lean like more liberal. And that's just kind of showing that's not really the case anymore, that neither political party has young voters like in their corner. And there's a lot of elections coming up this year. So if they want these young voters, they have to do a lot of work. Harvard talked with students to see, why do they feel this way? And they just kind of gave that they feel like neither political party is really addressing their needs, and that there's just a lot that they are not happy about on both sides. And a lot of it has to do with either social issues or economic issues, and just all around not great. And even a new poll showed that Biden's approval among Americans under 30 has fallen to about 41% in the last year, which was an 18-point drop, which is a huge drop. So even like the president,
is it more just like they're saying they're not effective? Both parties aren't effective and they're not doing enough. So like the conservatives saying the conservative party is not conservative enough or getting enough of what I'm into pushed through, and the liberals aren't getting enough of my liberal causes pushed through. So they're just giving up on the whole process.
They're kind of looking at politics and seeing like the things that I want and the things that, I'm hopeful for, that's not happening. And it is alarming because, they're so young into the voting age, and it's like they're already giving up on the political system, and they're not fully giving up, but they just, they are very cynical of it.
Is this new though? I mean, I'm trying to think like over the decades, it's always been the young people saying the establishment is ineffective and we need change. And so they don't buy into the existing status quo. When has the young generation ever bought into the existing power structure? They've always not been okay with it, right? I mean,
I was going to say, if the numbers are growing, it makes sense to me, because think about how politically we're so polarized in a sense. And then also, I feel bad for anybody like that is just starting their career out trying to buy a house or buy a vehicle. it's like you can't. Everything is so overly inflated. Where, you know, what do you do? You know, and then with all of the, you know, fighting over the past, you know, 4 years, some people seeing their grandparents in a different light, some people seeing their parents in a different light and saying, well, I don't want to be a part of that party. But then I could see why people would just throw their hands in the air and say, you know what, just whatever.
They wave them like they
None
just
of this
don't care
matters anyway.
You know?
I was listening to Outkast, so you know what I mean. Throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care.
This study found that it was this was relative to previous generations. There was an escalation in terms of feeling like the parties don't represent me. Between Republican and Democrat, sure. I don't feel like either party represents my interests or what I want, which, yeah, that's always been a little bit the case, but we've seen it grow a little bit with every new generation, really since the Reagan era. So it's yes, it's a trend, but it's escalating instead of going the other way. And I think what you're seeing now is, in addition to this apathy, there's just this gridlock where neither party is going to let the other party do anything. So you vote somebody in, you get really excited about the promises you hear on the campaign trail. And then there was this huge, unprecedented effort on the part of largely young voters to get Biden into the White House. And then nothing that he said he was going to do ends up happening. And there's a lot of different reasons for that. I'm not saying it's entirely Biden's fault, but when it doesn't happen, that feeds that apathy. Like, well, why did I go to the polls if none of the promises that he made, that I went in to make happen, are going to happen anyway? And then you'll see the exact same thing happen with the Republican administration as well, of course. So I think that's the apathy that you're feeling, is if there is no way for these parties to come together, which increasingly there really doesn't seem to be because they have very different visions of America, it's understandable that you'd be like, well, why am I voting anybody in if they're just going to basically try to keep the train on the tracks and not really make any of the changes I want to see?
Here's the question I have. I want to throw this out to y'all and see what y'all think. Do you think that some of this is because we don't actually know how the political process runs anymore? You know, because really thinking about it, like, I don't remember Joe Biden. I could be wrong, but I don't remember Joe Biden saying he was going to pay off everybody's student loans. I remember him saying if a bill makes it to his desk, he'll sign it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't remember him making a promise, we're going to pay off everybody's student loans. But he said he would sign a bill if it makes it to his desk. So in other words, what he said was, if the House and Senate can fight it out and give me something worth having, I'll make sure that it gets through. So it's like a lot of people are like dunking on him for saying, you know, oh, Biden ain't even get the student loans done. It's like, there's nothing he can do if the House and the Senate won't pass it. There's no reason to throw your ire at him. You throw your frustration at your local representatives and senators. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. And when I look at people's discord on politics, sometimes I'm wondering, I'm like, do we even know why we're mad, or who is responsible for what?
I think along with that same line, Derek, is everything has gotten so politicalized. Like, even when we're talking about Elon Musk buying Twitter, you know, you've got people, the Republicans are saying one thing about it and the Democrats are saying one thing. And it's a person buying a company that has, right now, that we know of, nothing to do with politics. But yet it becomes about politics and you take a side. And I think young people have watched that over the years and just has gone, this is like, I don't want to be a part of this. I've had young people that I know in my life say that what was really hard for them during the presidency of Donald Trump is to say, my parents for years taught me these values matter, all these matter. And yet they just turned a blind eye when their party candidate was doing exactly what they always taught me not to do. And so then, you know, these 25-year-old kids are going, well, I don't want to be a part of this system because forever I've been taught character matters, character matters, character matters. But yet the same people that taught me that are like, oh, who cares? We need, you know, this president in the office. And I think it just makes them go, this feels dirty. It feels like I don't want to be a part of this. And it messes with parts of their life that don't feel like politics need to be in it. That's what I've seen from young people these days.
What's interesting to me, too, is really, if you think about politics as it affects your life tangibly, it's the local politicians that you should be paying attention to.
Right.
I'm living in Central Florida right now. Our local politician, Ron DeSantis, just dismantled Disney's special tax district. And guess who is going to have his property taxes grow by 25% next year. And because we're absorbing all the infrastructure.
$1 billion bill.
And and $2 billion of debt that was being held by that essentially county down there is now being absorbed into my county. Okay. Ouch. Local politics affect your life way more than DC does. So like, hey, if you want to be an activist or whatever, you can get a grassroots campaign going in your neighborhood and get elected to your county commission. You can make a difference, So anyway, the whole thing about being disenfranchised with politics.
Did you say 20%, Cameron? Side note, did you say your taxes is about to go up by 25%?
That is astonishing.
Okay, this is the truth. This has come out. So, okay, this whole don't say gay bill, woke stuff. Okay, DeSantis and the state legislature within a week pushed this bill through to dismantle this 50-year special tax district that Disney had. But it wasn't just Disney. There were 7 of these districts around the state that the state created to incentivize a certain type of growth and development and economic stuff and whatever. And they just did it out of spite with zero. This came out in the news with zero economic analysis of what would happen. And now after they've passed it, they find out that $2 billion of debt that district was holding is now going to be absorbed into my county. And all of the infrastructure costs, police, fire, water, that was being paid for by Disney to the tune of $800 billion a year is now going to be paid by Orange County residents by jacking up our property taxes by 25%. So
they actually helped Disney out in a sense. Because Disney's like, hey,
they got out of it.
Take these taxes. We'll here you
literally
go. Take all this infrastructure, all of that.
So to the cynicism of politics, why would he do that? If he's elected by Florida residents to do what's best for Florida residents, why would he ever do that?
Right.
He's not.
Yeah.
He did a culture war virtue signal to the national stage that I'll stand up to the wokeness. And he doesn't care about what happens to Floridians now. He's going after DC.
Well, fortunately,
and so like we're sitting here
fortunately
holding
for
the
DeSantis, what I know about politics, which is I'm not a political guy.
That's rough, man.
My understanding is that Republicans really do love higher taxes and fight for them at every turn. So I could see him playing, this is 5-dimensional chess here.
But think about this: you, as a governor and the state senate,
out of there,
passed a law, dismantled an economic institution with zero economic analysis happening before you voted.
Is this going to have an impact on Disney jail? Is this coming out? Are they going to have to start cutting some corners in Disney jail?
Disney jail is now going to be Orange County jail. You jump out of line at Disney, you're going to the Slammer. You're not going to Goofy jail. You're going to Orlando City.
Goofy's panhandling on the Disney streets.
Anyway, I'm fired up, man.
Dang, Goofy had to pack his bags, man.
I read today, the average family of 4 next year in Orlando will pay $3,000 more for taxes than last year.
Wow.
Because of this Disney thing.
Would hate to live in Florida right
with
now.
No added benefit.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
Couldn't be me.
Yeah, well. Anyway, I'm not fired up about it. I don't have an opinion about this at all. Emily, what else is going on that has nothing to do with politics, please?
Okay. Let's move along to something else. Let me give a little bit of background information for this before I get to it. So I know we got some Marvel fans on here, aka Tyler and Derek. So this will particularly be interesting to you. So I don't know if you've seen it, but there's been a lot of Marvel fans that have just for years now been trying to create a petition to get Chris Pratt to be replaced in Guardians of the Galaxy. His character is Star-Lord. And they have their reasons for it. And a lot of it has to do with his faith and particularly his thoughts on the LGBTQ community. And I won't get into what they want him to say.
Not his thoughts.
Not his
thoughts. It's he goes to a church that they say
to have certain thoughts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt has never said anything about what he thinks about that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the issue is he's never said anything about this, but people that have listened to these rumors are calling for this petition. And one rumor I actually do want to point out, they have this rumor that he goes to Hillsong Church. He has stated he has never been to Hillsong, which I just think is very funny that people are just ignoring him saying that he doesn't go to this church. And they're like, no, we know you go there. Just very funny. So this week or last week, the new trailer for Thor: Love and Thunder came out, which Chris Pratt will be in, and people responded to it saying, like, again, they just want him. They want someone else. I don't know if there's a specific one they want. Just any other man, I guess. Well, the director for Guardians of the Galaxy 3, James Gunn, came out in defense of Chris Pratt. And he responded to someone who was saying that they wanted Pratt to replace, saying, for what? Because of your made up, utterly false beliefs about him, for something that someone else told you about him that's not true. Chris Pratt would never be replaced with Star-Lord, but if he ever was, we would all be going with him. I know the church he currently goes to. Do you? The answer is you don't, but you heard from someone who heard from someone who heard from someone where he goes to church. So you decided, yeah, okay, I'll believe this terrible thing I heard online about this celebrity, which is just like aggressive. Like, props to Gunn.
I love that.
For like coming to his defense.
James Gunn.
But it is something that's true.
It.
You know, like I say this as someone who takes in a lot of celebrity gossip. It is easy to listen to these rumors and just create this whole identity about it. But at the end of the day, I don't know any of these celebrities. I don't know anything about them. I like to think I do, but I don't. But it is so tricky when, you know, we have these personal thoughts and it's like, we can't be the authority figure to say like, oh, this person shouldn't have this role anymore. It's like, you don't know them. They didn't actually say anything like that. You can't put your perceptions on them. So,
yeah, I'm going to tell, and this is just, you know, because I'm a C- celebrity. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not.
You're C+,
Kanye
man.
or none of
Don't do
that.
to
None of
yourself.
that. But hey, I'll take C+. Thank you. I'm a C+ celebrity, a little
C+
bit above
for
average.
sure.
You know what I'm saying? But I'll never forget.
I mean, he's at the level that if you take Derek Minor to an Orlando Magic game, there will be people in the stands saying, Derek Minor,
That's
Derek
not
Minor.
C-.
And he has to go over and take
That's
pictures
not
with him.
C-.
I can tell you
No
that
way.
for a fact. I can tell you.
Anyhow,
Derek Minor, he posted on his story that he was there and his fans were
B-, go up
following
to
him
B.
and like found him and came over. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
anyhow,
he didn't
what
introduce
else-
me. He
but
didn't be
the
like,
point, that's beside the point. The point I was making was I remember when I first started doing music and I was my star was starting to shine a lot brighter, and I signed autographs. I used to sign autographs. I still do it. Autographs after every show, talk to everyone. But this one particular show in Michigan, I didn't do it. And I remember this guy puts out this whole thing on how I'm so arrogant that I wouldn't even sign autographs. And, you know, Derek is, he's feeling himself now. He got a little platform, et cetera, et cetera. What that person did not know was that the reason why I didn't sign autographs is because my grandmother was fighting cancer and I left the show early. I took the show because I wanted to see my grandmother. I was like, okay, this will allow me to be able to, you know, pick up some money and go see my grandmother. So I left the show early to see my grandmother. But on that person's vantage point, they're like, oh, he's so arrogant. You know what I mean? And I think that, I think when it comes to like celebrities and people, I think just people in general that we don't know, we got to do a better job of, you know, thinking that maybe this person's a human being and maybe it's not the worst thing in the world. You know, like I've seen even Chris Pratt even, you know, stand up for, not necessarily stand up, but say, hey, you know, I think there's this one clip of this man saying like, yo, I think that our government should protect our LGBT community from any hurt, harm, et cetera, et cetera. They should have every God-given right. That's literally came out of his own mouth. But people won't take that because that seems like more unbelievable than, hey, he goes to a church and maybe some of the people at his church have beliefs that are extreme. So I think we got to do a better job. And I think that's the sucky thing about, you know, online and social media is that it allows everyone to have a platform and just keep speaking and speaking and speaking and not know what they're talking about. That's just my 2 cents.
and you can't argue with the internet. You know, once a narrative snowball starts rolling, you can't stop it.
Yeah.
And so to Pratt's credit, he set the record straight once and then just stayed out of it. Like he can't pick every fight.
Seriously?
And I'm glad to see other people coming to his side and fighting for him, you know, because hopefully, you know, because he can't.
That would be so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be so hard. I'd want to defend myself every single
It speaks
time.
to his character that so many of his friends have.
Yeah.
tried to set the record straight
Right,
about him.
right,
People
right.
who do not share his religious beliefs or even his
Right.
political beliefs,
Mhm.
as I understand them to be.
Right.
And I will say that we cover a lot of these stories
Right.
at Relevant. And if there's something that looks like a Christian is being sort of like maligned for their beliefs, it turns out to be a lot of heat and no fire. Like Christians are kind of making something up. There's a faux persecution narrative that's building around it. But this one, I do feel like Pratt gets kind of a bad rap on the internet. That he has very much to his credit. Try to set the record straight once, said people who actually care to find out the truth will be able to find out about it. And the people who have worked with him, as far as I can tell, the people who have worked with him have had really good experiences with it. And if somebody who's actually worked with him says something differently, then absolutely, that would be important to note that. But I just haven't seen any actual testimonies to the contrary that says people don't enjoy the person or find him to be a discriminatory person.
Right.
So I'm glad the gun is sticking up for him, and I hope that at some point the internet kind of turns a corner here, but I don't know if it will or not.
Right.
Mhm.
All right. What's the last thing you got, Emily?
Weirdly, this also has some Marvel news to it, but not that much, so it's not that bad. It has to do with Tom Hiddleston.
You're
who
just
plays Loki.
pandering at this point. You're coming on. You know your audience.
I've been watching Moon Knight, so I have been thinking about Marvel a lot. But we can't talk about Moon Knight because that would take a whole different podcast. No, Tom Hiddleston, who plays Loki, will be in a new Apple TV Plus series with Claire Danes. It's called The Essex Serpent. It's based on a book by Sarah Perry. It's about this woman who's very rational, and she moves to this small seaside town in like the late 1800s to investigate. It's called the Essex Serpent. Think like the Loch Ness Monster sort of thing. But she creates a friendship with a local pastor played by Tom Hiddleston. And the show says it's going to kind of just shine a light on the conversation between the connection of faith and science, which has come up so much in recent years. Just where do they intersect and how do they intersect? So I think it'll be a really good show. And it's Apple TV Plus, which we've talked about has been crushing it lately. So
Absolutely crushing it.
we're really excited about this
Buy
one.
on Apple TV Plus stock right now.
So it's called the Essex Serpent, you said, and it's got this like faith element to it. Cool. Let's play some of the trailer. Here it is.
A sea creature's been spotted.
Is there something out there?
That's what I'm here to find out. I've done some research.
Into a mythical beast?
Not mythical, real.
The serpent is an invention, a symptom of the times we live in.
So you're against progress? I'd rather believe in a creature people have actually seen than an invisible god.
Well, there's a lot more where that came from. Make sure to follow Relevant. We're posting good stuff every day.
Turn on notifications too, so you can see what actually.
That's
is
right.
Being
Follow and turn on notifications. I feel like we're the YouTubers at the end of the video. Subscribe and follow. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Hey guys.
Subscribe, link below.
Now they're doing it like in the middle of the
exactly.
video. Like, hey, if you like what you're seeing, like,
Oh, yeah.
come on. All right.
I'm gonna start doing that on my music videos. It's gonna be like this crazy production, and I was just turn to the camera and just be like and subscribe.
All right. Stay tuned. Up next, 1K Phew joins us.
I've got a million little problems. Everybody's got some. Everybody's got some. I've got a million little problems. I try to tell myself.
You're listening to The Walters. The song is Million Little Problems. Don't we all have those? Well, our guest today is 1K Phew. He's part of the next generation of Christian hip-hop artists that we're excited about with songs like Wild and Out and How We Coming. He recently dropped his album No Church in a While, which he collaborated on with Lecrae. We sat down with him to discuss his passion for connecting church and culture and how he wants to use his talents to bring others closer to God. Here's our conversation with 1K Phew.
Too hot way back then, oh God bless. I just wanna see all my dogs in big fits. Now what's next? Go we get.
But for the folks who are like maybe not like super familiar with your work yet, because I don't think we've talked to you before, can you give me just a little bit of your origin story, like how you got started and how you got to where you're at now?
Man, I'm 1K Phew, man. I'm from the east side of Atlanta. Really, I'm just so Atlanta, bro. Like, I don't even know what to say. It's like I grew up, born and raised, in church all my life. But at the same time, I went to church in the 6, in Zone 6. And people don't know who Zone 6 is. Like, that's the east side, of Decatur. Uh-huh. And, I seen a lot of things, just going to church every day. Because it's crazy. Because my mom, she drug us to church almost every day. But I don't think she knew that we was like around, the hood and the street and stuff like that. So it's like, we would go to get the word and stuff. Well, we were supposed to go and get the word. But it's like we would still see, different things like, that I wasn't used to seeing. So, and I was so young, I didn't really know what it was for real. I was just, around it and growing up in it. So it just, and that kind of, it kind of motivated me to be more mature today, because it's like, now I would see something now and have a totally different perspective on it, because I feel like, I've grown since then.
I like to move it, jumped off the porch, now I'm just cool. I had to change my mood in life when I woke up and started just I like to move it, so please get out the way, excuse me. I like to move it, jumped off the porch, now I'm just cool. Yeah, Hammer Time boys in the building. What we doing?
When you were a kid and you were getting dragged to church, did you like church or was church boring? Because I did not like going to church when I was a little kid.
Like sitting listening to the preacher was boring, but going to church, like seeing my cousins and my friends and stuff like that, like that's what I was looking forward to. Because it's like I went like when I grew up in church, like when I was younger, that was around the time everybody called each other family and auntie and uncle, and it wasn't really it wasn't really like church members. It was more like family type thing. So it was like I would come to church and see all my partners and all the bros, and we would just be hanging like that. But yeah, I actually like going to church though. I like going to church. Maybe for not the right reason, probably not to get fed. But when I was younger, I liked going to church for sure.
So when did music come in? When were you like, I'm ready to start really pursuing this? I want to get into music.
Man, I've been loving music forever. Like, just growing up in Atlanta, looking at artists like, T.I. and Ludacris, and looking at, like, sneaking, watching BET while my folks downstairs and everything. So it's like, I always looked up to the culture, and I kind of wanted to connect that with the church. I'll never forget growing up in church, it was a lot of people who used to come and try to connect with the youth and try to, do Christian rap and gospel rap. But they wouldn't always relate. Most of the time they was lame, that always motivated me to be like, nah, I can really get up there and relate to them because I am them. I'm one of us type thing. So it's like the first time my pastor, man, shout out to Bishop Jimmy Lee, man, long live him. The first time he gave me an opportunity to go up there, I just went up there and I did my thing and they loved it. Like I'll never forget the first song I did. Soulja Boy had a song out called Pretty Boy Swag. Okay. I remixed it and did Church Boy Swag. And boy, it went up as soon as I did it. And then ever since that moment, I just fell in love with it and I just kept pursuing it.
Coming in like this, picking up tables like Christ did. Jumping at the gym like Mike did. I ain't talking about Jordan, I'm Tyson. Time to ride on all you perpetrators. I ain't even got to show my license. Heard the devil got him some pirates. He don't even know I'm pulling up with Vikings. When I saw that Miley Cyrus, had to change up like Hannah Montana. Seen him get my brother time, cause he got caught on candid camera. Had to stay down like 22s on a Cadillac. I'm David Banner. When the youth passed to take us out.
Was that hard when you were, because you're getting involved, you're good at what you do, but so much church music really is still pretty corny. Like definitely it used to be a lot worse. I think we're getting better, but there was a time when a lot of it was pretty bad. So were you like, I just don't know if there's a space for me to be like good at to be excellent at what I do, and to still be part of this? Did you figure that out early on?
It was discouraging at first, but then it turned into motivation. Because I was like, I want to be the one to break the wall down. I want to be the one to really bring people in and really bring the connection in. Because I feel like it is still some things in the gospel world and in the CCM world where they don't really take hip hop and rap, that serious as they do the other genre. And I just feel like it's just time to break that because hip hop is really the biggest genre, like all around.
Easy. Oh,
so
Not
I
close.
feel like he's just trying to break that mold and really walk in confidence. I feel like really what was holding some of us back was we weren't really confident in our calling type thing. And I really had to sit down and realize that I can't really run away or try to make others feel comfortable. I can't try to make people in the street feel comfortable by selling out, and I can't make the church feel comfortable by, not being myself. You know what I'm saying? So I really just had to follow my purpose and what the purpose God gave me. And he just told me to just use his sauce. Like for him, like he already gave me the swag. It's like it's up to me who it's up to me who I'm going to use it for. So I just really had to be intentional in walking in that. So I feel like, man, as long as we have confidence in our purpose, the sky the limit. Like we gonna take off. It's like I ain't even discouraged about what's going on. It's like it's gonna take off.
Did you find that once you were able to like embrace that, like, okay, this is the calling, this is what I'm gonna do. Once you did that, did you find that you were able to like improve as an artist too? Like,
for
you confidence to raise the ceiling on just your skill?
It freed me to talk about the real. Like it freed me to really, express my feelings and express my thoughts. Another thing with me too is like, I think I'm going on like year number 2, I think, but I really stopped writing. As well. It's like I don't write when it comes to music. So it's like when I go in, I just go straight to the mic and
is that right?
say my thoughts like line by line. I say my thoughts line by line, and
that's cool.
That's really helped me to not limit myself in what I'm talking about and really let people know where I'm at that moment, like at that day, like however I'm feeling, whatever's on my mind, it's gonna come out. And that's what I really want my audience to connect with, that I'm authentic, I keep it 1,000, and I'm I ain't gonna put on. It's like that's just what it is.
Father God, can you please help me be perfect like the whole church is? They trying to tell me I'm worthless, like I wasn't smoking with the church kids. And I know I wasn't just tripping when I seen the pastor make a little purchase. He said, son, don't you go tell nobody, now get your butt back in service. So I gotta pop it for the paparazzi. I'm a gospel rapper, time to copyright it. When I told the streets, they all got excited. Now I'm in a trap because I got invited.
You mentioned that, and I think this is true, that there are still some people out there who just don't take rap super seriously as a genre, who don't take hip hop seriously. Why do you think that when it's been around for such a long time, we've had so many artists, like the biggest, not just the biggest, but also the best artists out there are definitely rappers. Why is it still fighting for that legitimacy, do you think?
Man, I feel like in the church, it's definitely looked upon as that because, hip hop is more rugged. When you think of hip hop, you don't really think of positive images when you think of hip hop. So I do feel like that's why the church kind of runs from it. As soon as they hear rap, as soon as they hear the word hip hop, they automatically think of drugs, booty shaking, all type of stuff that ain't really, got to do with us and what we talking about. But just because it got something to do with rap and hip hop, they automatically related to that. So I feel like, man, we just got to go up with it. Like I said, we just got to be confident in what we do. And once the mainstream and whoever start to embrace it, I feel like the church will too, because sadly, sometimes I feel like the church sometimes jumps on the trend of what the world got going on.
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
what I'm saying? And
you see it all the time.
I feel like, a lot of worldly artists come on to the Christian lane and it's crazy, it's huge, and I just feel like it's about that time for us to have that same impact and really stand on what we standing on. Because I do believe the reason why they have that impact, like people like Kanye and Justin Bieber and stuff like that, is because they stood on what they stood on. Like they're comfortable in their skin and who they are. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we just gotta take that same approach, not the negative way, but the Christ way.
All I gotta do is make me one call, that's all. Reminiscing, leaning on the county jail wall. All I wanna do is go to heaven. I know some of y'all thinking I'm just trying to go to hell. Well, no. What I gotta do to keep my brothers on the safe side. Lost so many homies, I wish I could change a lot.
That was 1K Phew. You can read more of that conversation and the latest issue of Relevant, the spring issue, digital issue, is out now. You can read the ad-supported version for free at relevantmagazine.com, or if you want the enhanced edition ad-free, you can subscribe to Relevant Plus. He's in there with some of our other favorite artists like Wande and No Big Deal and others. So go check that out. 1K Phew, spring issue of Relevant. Okay, stay tuned. Up next, it's your feedback. listening to Joshua Luke Smith and Wild Sons. The song is Father. Okay, it's time for your feedback. So if you listened to last week's show, we talked about my home office / podcast studio might just be haunted. We had some weird computer stuff going on. The aquarium, it was some weird stuff happening late at night. It was just bizarre that day. Things have calmed down. I have replaced the computer. I'm on a different computer now, and no fish have committed suicide since last recording. So this is great. We're good. I think we've cleansed the aura in this room. So good news. Anyway, and people have been tweeting me that, yes, absolutely, your office is haunted. So you can get out of there now. So anyway, we asked you for the feedback. What is the craziest or strangest experience you've had while you were home alone? And you guys hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, and here are some of our favorite replies.
My man Caleb Brooks said 2 burglars tried to break in, and I had to booby trap the entire place to protect myself and my family's belongings.
Okay, Macaulay Culkin over here.
I've said on that show that I have a story of the creepiest, and I will tell it when we're done reading this stuff. It's like this dude.
Derek, I think you're missing. It said there's a follow-up tweet here. The same thing happened again next year in New York City. He had to, it was the craziest thing. Same 2 burglars too.
Oh
no. Corbin said this. He said when he was 12, he woke up to loud scratching on his headboard, which that's freaky anyways. And then he said, I laid as still as possible when suddenly something furry landed on my face. I had to turn the light on and found my pet hamster who'd escaped a week prior running around on my bed. So he thought he was being attacked with something scratching his headboard. It was his hamster.
That's why we don't have hamsters.
Hamsters are just rats without the tail. I mean, they get in your wall. They eat gross stuff.
And it had been missing a whole week, he said. Like what that hamster been doing over the week. That's what I need to know.
Eating what do rats do?
I'm saying.
I love this. Evan says 5 years ago, 12 a.m., an intoxicated man comes to my door because, quote, I saw the lights were on, asking if I had $3, quote, for a soda. I did not live anywhere near a convenience store. This is, you know what? I understand this would be weird at midnight. I would also not have $3 probably to pass around, but I admire the guy just went, shoot your shot. If you are thirsty, you never know.
He walked right up at midnight. He walked right up to a door, knocked on it, asking for $3.
This had to be like in the 80s or the 90s because 2022, everybody on edge.
Plus,
I ain't knocking on nobody
soda.
around at 12 o'clock at night. Especially if you live in like Texas or Florida or Tennessee. We got open carry, no license, no nothing.
Ask.
You just walk around with like the Wild Wild West.
I would no more answer my door at midnight than I don't answer my door at 5 p.m. I don't answer my door. If somebody's knocking, I'm like, I didn't invite anybody to my house. I'm not going anywhere near my front door. You can leave a note.
I'll answer the door.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I do not answer my door.
But do you have windows? Like, can they see you?
No. I mean, not the front door doesn't have windows on it, so I can avoid it and stay out of sight. But yeah, no, I don't answer the door.
My entire downstairs is like windows everywhere. No one could not see us. And if someone's knocking on my door, we live in the country. It's like, what's happening?
A murder is what's happening. That's why you don't answer the door.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But they would see me standing there. I'd be waving at them.
So speaking of windows, all right, here's my story. There's a lot more feedback where that came from. All right, I'll just take a second and tell you this. So we were in high school, and in high school, I was the Christian youth group kid who would sneak out in the middle of the night, but I'd go TP friends' houses and stuff. I was just like doing stuff like that, little pranks. So it was kind of a little war going on in my youth group and in school of like TP in people's houses. We got wind. We hit somebody really hard. We got word, my friends and I got word that a revenge TP attack was coming. I lived in the woods I was surrounded by woods though. So we had like 100-foot tall pine trees and stuff. And if we got TP'd, my parents made me clean it up. So I was like, I am not going to let my house get TP'd. So I got like 10 friends and we were basically going to ambush them. Like, so when people showed up at 12-1 to TP my house, we were going to ambush them. Okay. And just, youth group pranks. So we're all around my neighborhood. We're positioned everywhere. We have walkie-talkies. We have lookouts, all this kind of stuff. It gets to be about 3 a.m. Nothing's happened. Oh, man. Okay. So we go back inside my house and we're all just hanging out in the family room. Lights are out. We're watching a movie.
Was this a school night?
No, it's weekend, summer break, I don't know. So we're all just like hanging out, watching a movie, chilling. It's a big sleepover. There's like 10 of us. All of a sudden, 3 a.m, we see a flashlight in the backyard.
Mm-mm.
And I'm going, oh, this is good. They're coming for the backyard teepee attack. So we all quietly go out the front and garage doors and then come around both sides of the house to trap the friends in the backyard who were going to teepee us. Okay. It wasn't friends trying to teepee us. It was somebody trying to break into the house.
Oh, no.
And we didn't know that. So once they see us, they start running into the woods. My friends start chasing after them. And basically, we're in the thick of Florida woods and swamp chasing after somebody with people with flashlights. We don't know. Turns out the next day, there was an escaped convict that had been burglaring houses in the area. And there were helicopters and cops and like SWAT teams and stuff. The cops were so mad at us because they're like, this person could have been armed. Y'all could have been shot. Don't ever chase people at 3 a.m. You know what I mean? Like call 911. So anyway, dude, we were up and it happened.
Did they catch him?
Yeah, they caught him the next day. It was like noon the next day because the dude got caught in the 80 acres of woods and swamp. He couldn't get out. So cops were all around all the perimeter of the woods.
In my mind,
and eventually
you were just doing some citizen,
man. Isn't that crazy?
Parents, you shouldn't have.
That's
I hope you
wild,
didn't get in
bro.
trouble for being up at 3 a.m. Your parents should have been like, Cameron, you saved us.
But then they had a few questions. They had a few questions of like, why is our house being attacked by your friends? Like they didn't know that I was an instigator. They're like, why are we being persecuted by the other children in the youth group and stuff? And I'm like, I don't know, Dad. Yeah, I do.
I don't know. We follow Jesus.
I think these cops were just jealous because they got beat to the punch by a bunch of youth group kids.
Yeah,
they couldn't
you
find
almost
this
had
guy at 3 a.m. And you had him dead to rights. We're chasing him into the swamps, doing your part for some citizen justice out there. And then the police try to make it your problem. I'd say you guys were in the right. They should have deputized you then and
he
there.
was just saying next time you chase after somebody at 3 a.m. into the woods, you're probably going to get shot. So maybe don't do that.
Pack and eat next time.
Good lesson learned.
All right. So that'll do it for your feedback. There's more where that came from. Go check it out on our Twitter account. Okay, it's time for this week's
editorial question of the week. Hey.
All right. Well, at the beginning of the show, we got talking about Twitter for a little bit about all the changes of like, what's Elon going to be up to? What's he going to change? What's the difference going to be? So it just got us thinking, hey, maybe he's open to suggestions, like maybe we can tweet him some ideas. Here's the question of the week. What do you want to change about Twitter? What changes would you like to see happen aside from an edit button? What else would you change about Twitter in this new era?
And tag Elon Musk in your
if it's a good idea.
in your response.
All right. Hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast on Twitter, ironically, and tell us what you do to make Twitter better. Well, before we wrap things up, I want to once again thank 1K Phew for joining us today. Make sure to check out our feature with him and other emerging hip hop artists that we're excited about in the spring issue of Relevant. It's available now. There's also features with like Ryan Reynolds, Bob Goff, Shauna Niequist, Madison Pruitt, Channing Tatum, so much more. It is jam-packed. And like I said earlier, you can read the ad-supported version for free at relevantmagazine.com, or you can get the enhanced ad-free version by subscribing to Relevant Plus. Relevant Plus is something that we are continually growing and adding to. You don't want to miss it, and we'd love the support. It'll help us make more of the content you like ad-free. So there you go. Check it out. All the information's at relevantmagazine.com for Relevant Plus. Also, don't forget, we are hiring. Visit relevantmediagroup.com for more information and to apply right there online. Also, stay in the mix with everything we're putting out. Sign up for our free daily newsletter, Relevant Today. It is our top 5 trending stories in your inbox every morning. You can sign up right there at the website. It's on the sidebar on the homepage, relevantmagazine.com. Make sure to follow us on all the socials as well. Got a lot of stuff going on. You don't want to miss out, right? Okay, on that note, we'll wrap it up. I'm Karen Strang.
I'm Tyler Huckabee.
I'm Jamie Ivey.
I'm Derek Miner.
We will see you next time. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
Jesse's not dead, but he's barely alive. He's living on the inside.
Relevant Podcast Network.